What's the one thing we tell death? Not today, my friend. That's what the Warriors did. They were looking at death right in the eye. They stared the Lakers back, and they are still alive and kicking in this series. Welcome, one and all, to Damon Pluce. Good to have you back here on the Pluce. We were doing some late-night broadcasting last night. I know an awful lot of you were there for that. Thank you so much. Incredibly loyal audience, by the way. We are still, thanks to the rampant interest in Warriors and Lakers, we are still in the top 10 in sports podcasts in the country right now. Thank you to all of you for doing that. Really appreciate it. And, man, what a game last night, right? The Warriors, look, they got to win 3 in a row. And the easiest lap around that track, again, they got to win 3 laps here. The easiest lap around that track was last night's lap. You had, a Lakers team. I'm not saying that they didn't want it. I mean, of course they wanted it. You get a chance to end someone's season, you want that. But at the same time, they were playing without desperation. And there really was a results are no big deal kind of a vibe that I thought I felt off the court from the Lakers. And then Darvin Ham basically, agreed to in any and all post-game chit-chatting that he did. Now comes the hardest leg of the entire lap, even harder than what would be a closeout game in Game 7, because that would obviously be at home. The narrative shifts to all the pressure being on the Lakers, even though there's plenty of pressure on both sides of the basketball court in the Game 7. Game 7 would be a game where I think everyone would favor the Warriors to win that game at home. Role players play better at home than they do on the road, which is, as I had a busy day yesterday. We did the show. We did an interview with Jay Chandrasekhar, a broken lizard. Did an AMP show pregame from the Chase Center. Came on here, did a YouTube show postgame. Hopped on the Kruger channel, and when I was getting off of Larry's the Krug show with a cast of thousands, I was asked for my prediction. I think the Lakers win Game 6. I want to be wrong about that. I would love to be wrong about that. We will talk about how wrong I was about that if I am wrong about that, but I do think the Lakers are going to win Game 6 because as good as the Warriors shown in moments last night, I still just do not trust them on the road. And of all the places I trust them on the road, that building, lit the way the Lakers light that building, I trust them the least down there. I have watched this team that has all these veteran presences that are good enough to get things done, not get things done all year. Now, if they've been, okey-doking us this entire time and are ready to go play a near-perfect game, flawless, getting to the free throw line, not turning the ball over, not making mistakes, making the right choice, not taking the bad shot, if they're willing to do that, of course, look, they got a puncher's chance in Game 6. I'm not saying that they can't win this game. Of course they can. I just think that the Lakers are going to ball up their fist much tighter and throw a much harder punch at the Golden State Warriors than the one you saw at Chase Center last night. Doesn't mean they can't do it, but, if I were a betting man, I would bet on the Lakers to close this thing out in 6 because they have to be as desperate as the Kings were to close out, the Warriors before, seeing them home. I mean, that's the thing. The Kings were stupid. They thought they had a couple chances to knock the Warriors out. That's a team that needs to do it when they need to do it. The Lakers, look, they could conceivably lose Game 6 and still come up here and win Game 7. They're that hot and cold of a basketball team. And the one thing that I think we all realize, and this is not a criticism of the Lakers, even though they are there are some guys, Dennis Schroeder specifically, who is just a flopping bitch. He totally is. Like if you're walking past Dennis Schroeder and you go, he will blow himself over. He will throw himself into the third row pretending that, a hurricane level gale wind just came and took him out of the equation. But if the Warriors get a fair officiated game, they got a much better shot of winning Game 6. They got a much better shot of beating anybody when that anybody isn't taking 20, 30 more free throws than they are. And that is really borne out so far in this series. We got a lot of chatting to get into. Obviously, Club Pluce will be open because that's where we do a whole bunch of that, obviously. Want to say thank you so much to Ikes, who was all over the chat, probably is even right now. He certainly was last night. Huge Warriors fan. Go ahead and get yourself a sandwich. We have an unofficial burger friend named Uncle Boys who said that he would give away lunch to the first 10 people who lined up at 11. So hopefully you're listening to this lined up at Uncle Boys. He says if you can prove that you're in the Pluce Army, he's going to give you a sandwich. My boy Ikes is going to be delivering sandwiches here tomorrow because we're going to have for the first time a special in-studio guest. Well, it's not really even a studio. An in-basement guest. So that's going to be fun. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but that is scheduled to happen tomorrow right at 11. So tune in at 11 to find out who will be the first to actually join me right here, sitting right here. And because it is a Friday, after we indulge in some Ike sandwiches, we might even have to have a little cocktail. And, of course, make your cocktail a whiskey cocktail and not just any whiskey, blackened whiskey. As you can see, I've got the Metallica T-shirt on that actually opened up the door to my relationship with Charles, who is the liquor rep who reps blackened whiskey. So I've got the Metallica shirt on, which has been good luck for the Pluce. It was a busy morning. I had to get both kids to bed. Jillian is in the metropolis of Fresno this morning, working hard. And so I had to get both kids off, went to the doctor. Happy to tell you, my lipids test, I passed that with flying colors. Blood pressure, a little high. It's been a stressful month, but that's okay. That's going to come back down. Weight good, things good. According to the doctor, I will be with you for quite a while still, which is good news for everyone except, the Bay Area radio stations that are trying to compete with the Pluce, and we will dust them. So, huge, huge win for the Warriors. Did they delay the inevitable, or are they actually going to pull this off? If they do pull it off, it's going to be one of the single greatest accomplishments in the entire dynastic history here that we have been admiring since going back to 13, 14. Some numbers that came right out of last night's game. The Warriors are now in Game 5s dating back to 2015. They are 16-4 in Game 5s. They're now 34-12 in playoff games when they follow a loss. They're 34-12. They're now 8-2 when facing elimination going back to 2015. Those two losses were in Game 7 to the Cleveland Cavaliers in the NBA Finals we will not speak of, and to, obviously, the Toronto Raptors, Game 6, last game ever at Oracle Arena for the NBA. So 8-2, though, when facing elimination. The Warriors, if they want to go to the Western Conference Finals, have to make that 9-2. The even more impressive streak and run that I think is on the line as much as survival come Game 6 down in L.A. is that the Warriors have now gone 28 playoff series in a row, an NBA playoff record, with 28 road wins. Well, not 28, but 28 series in a row, they have posted at least one road win, which is an NBA all-time playoff record. They're going to need to do that to stay alive. Meanwhile, in the something's got to give category, the Lakers are 6-0 at home this postseason. So, it's something's got to give. It is an immovable force against an unmovable object, and whatever that cliche is, it'll be in play. Hopefully, Anthony Davis will be in play. We will get to more on that in just a second. The hardest game of the 3 laps, again, the easiest lap was run last night. The hardest lap will be run on Friday, and then the degree of difficulty, it actually drops for the Warriors should they reach a Game 7, because that's a home game, and we know that they're much better at home than they are anywhere else. I'm going to tell you, if the Warriors are going to get through Game 6 to force a Game 7, Draymond Green, you need to play like that again. And if the Warriors really do have designs on then going to the Western Conference Finals and advancing past that with 2 Game 7s in their rearview mirror, 2 7-game series in their rearview mirror, the Warriors have to get games out of Draymond like that the rest of the way. Draymond, when he tries to score like that, if he tried to score like that in the regular season, the Warriors would have easily won 5 more games, and had they won just 5 more games, they would have been the 3 seed this year. They would have supplanted Sacramento as the 3 seed had they won 5 more games. And you can say, well, what's the difference? They're in the same position. They knocked the 3 seed out. Well, the difference is it took a brutal 7 games to get through that, and home court advantage matters. If the Warriors end up losing this series against the Lakers, there's going to be a lot of things to dissect: the officiating, the this, that, the other thing, the flopping. Look, the game 1 loss was devastating if the Warriors get dropped in 6. Defending home court when they actually had home court advantage felt like their path through the Lakers. But obviously the Lakers flipped the script right on its head with the game 1 win. Back to Draymond. I saw this from ESPN. Draymond scored 20 points on 7-11 shooting last night. I mean, he drew, he had 8 of the Warriors' first 14 points. It's like the Lakers were daring him to do something. He took the dare. He delivered for the Warriors, and it was good. He was good last night. Draymond, 20 points on 7 of 11 shooting, 10 rebounds, 2 steals. This was his second 20-point game in the postseason, along with Game 5 against the Kings in the first round. It's the first time since 2017 that Draymond has had multiple 20-point games in a postseason. Before the playoffs, he hadn't scored 20 points since Christmas Day 2019. And I know that, Steve Kerr has said it. Everyone who covers the NBA has acknowledged this. Hey, the Warriors are built to be the kind of team where Draymond doesn't really have to score. He just needs to facilitate and play defense. You know what? That used to be true. It's not true anymore. This is not the Warriors of just a couple of years ago. They need Draymond to represent not just a facilitator threat, but a scoring threat. And look at how the court opens up when he does just that. So Draymond's got to keep on the good foot when it comes to scoring the basketball. The Warriors basically, in the next couple of games, they want to turn this into 2016 all over again. The Warriors, of course, trailed 3-1 against Oklahoma City, having been blown out in games 3 and 4. They protect their home court by winning Game 5. Then Game 6, Clay is born. We see him for the first time in Oklahoma City. And then they shut the door on KD and the Oklahoma City Thunder with a Game 7 win at Oracle Arena. That is what the Warriors need to duplicate now. Now, will Klay Thompson give you a Game 6 Clay? I don't know. I mean, he's officially due. In the Klay Thompson frustration cycle, he's officially due for the breakout game. The Cosmos says Game 6 Klay needed report for duty on the road. Hopefully he can answer the bell, but he wasn't very good last night. The best thing that Klay Thompson did for the Warriors was not get selfish, not try to shoot him out or shoot himself into a game. Klay did a really nice job self-editing last night. He did. He knew he wasn't feeling it. He knew he didn't have the touch, so he only took 12 shots. Klay needs to do that again down in L.A., and that's going to be hard. He's going to be extra tempted to get right in L.A. with his dad sitting right there in a building that he grew up going to games in as a little kid, shooting around with Kobe and Shaq and Laker greats. This means so much to Klay. The argument can maybe even be made it means a little too much. Klay is at his best when he has got that icy cold, hard to read, almost expressionless exterior where he's just a psycho killer. Just straight up, maniac who doesn't show it. What'd they say about Hannibal Lecter? He bit that nurse's entire face off and his blood pressure never raised above 140. That's the kind of murderer that Klay Thompson is the best to be. He needs to be unemotional and just knock down shots. Jordan Poole, I was wrong about him maybe starting. And with Gary Payton having a plus 25 in the box score as a starter last night, and he was really good. Gary Payton was active everywhere. Wiggins played his probably best game in this series. So good developments. Curry was Curry. He needs someone to help him out. He got some help last night. I want to talk about Anthony Davis getting rattled and some of the reaction to it. First of all, anyone who wants to say, so I've seen, Anthony Davis, what a pussy. Stop it. Your tolerance for that guy's pain is not impressive. So just stop. Kevon Looney is a big guy, and if he came down with the business end of his arm right on your head, I bet you'd be a little rattled too. So that's first of all. Lakers fans' reactions. Literally, I heard someone say that Kevon Looney should get into a car accident and people that he loves should die because he's playing so recklessly out there. Those kind of fans should be banned not just from Twitter but from sports. Their eyes should be, just driven out of their heads with hot pokers. You're not allowed to watch sports anymore. You're that big of an asshole. That's a horrific thing to say. It's a horrific thing to wish on anyone. And what's even dumber is they said that, what Kevon Looney did was not even a basketball play. He's just flailing around, intentionally trying to hurt someone. All right, well, that's not the guy's reputation. So welcome first basketball game that you're watching tonight. And all you got to do is look. Everyone is looking up. There is a ball that is bouncing above the rim. He's trying to get a rebound. His arm was in the air to get a rebound. That was a basketball act. Secondly, Stephen A. Smith this morning, and I know you're about to say, Damon, why are you giving him any attention now? Well, I'm giving him attention in hopes that you will stop giving him so much attention right now. So there's a means to an end here. Or there's an end to my means. I don't know. Anyways, Stephen A. Smith on First Take this morning was basically calling Anthony Davis a total pussy. Saying, how could you be concussed? This isn't a football game, and you didn't get hit by Aaron Donald, and, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. All right, that is an entirely crafted segment by some producer, and shucking and jiving, Stephen A. Smith will do whatever ESPN tells him to do because they just laid off thousands of people, and he wants to keep his $12 million a year salary or whatever they're paying him to just become like seriously, like if a racist went on the air in blackface to do an impression of a black basketball analyst out of control, it would look just like Stephen A. Smith. He's become a parody of himself. Whatever he used to contribute to the conversation, he no longer contributes it. He says he does an outrageous segment intentionally to get all you Twitter-loving pearl clutchers just, oh my God, I can't believe he's saying that. And then everyone retweets the segment. And look at this. Look how awful this is. You're doing his promotion for him, you rubes. Stop it. Stop falling for the banana in the tailpipe. How about this? Try this on for size. The next time you come across anything you don't like on Twitter, just shut the fuck up. Try that. Try that for a change. Oh, I really don't like this. Should I amplify it and complain about it? No. Don't. See what happens. I bet you'll go throughout your day happier, and you will not have fallen for the bait that they're putting out there for you to take. This is why I am a little worried about the pivot of me going to, the digital space where it's all about clicks and trending and trying to be outrageous. I'm not an outrageous broadcaster. What makes me outrageous in a lot of people's minds is I tell the truth, and the truth is it's such a rare commodity these days. When you stumble upon it, you're like, oh my God, what the hell is this? My outrageousness is born in rational truth-telling, not manufactured bullshit for clicks. If I got to be the manufactured bullshit guy for clicks, I won't do it. Like, I refuse to. I just refuse to be that level of broadcaster. I'm not going to do it. So forget about that. And if it means I'm not going to be as successful as I might be here, fine. I'm not going to be putting on an act for anyone. And look, as a guy who covered the NBA, Stephen A. Smith's commentary was shameful. It's ridiculous. You have no idea how, look, two things can be true. Anthony Davis does not have a reputation for being the toughest guy to ever hit a basketball court, and he really got rattled last night. You could see it. You could see him sitting there. Now, the whole Chris Haynes reporting that he got put out on a wheelchair to get back to the locker room after going into the tunnel, that did Anthony Davis no favors. You got Shaq and Charles Barkley basically laughing at him, calling him a pussy on the TNT postgame set. That's just wrong. It's just wrong. I mean, I'm the least worried about that guy's health covering sports today. But acknowledge injuries happen. And head injuries are being taken more seriously now than ever before. You know, sometimes all it is rub your dirt on it and keep on going like Draymond the other night. You know, he didn't need to be wheeled on back and given a complete medical evaluation. Sometimes a player knows they're fine. And so they just rub their head and they're like, ow, that hurts, and they keep on playing. There's other times when Anthony Davis stays down on the court for a possession, gets up, goes to the Lakers bench, and you can see him sitting there, and he's like, I know this isn't exactly the best part of the podcast today. This is a visual medium for everyone watching on YouTube, but I'm giving like this total blank duh stare. He had the 1,000-yard stare. He looked like a soldier who had been in the theater of war for too long. You know, can't even hear the bombs going off anymore. He was absolutely rattled. So, look, I don't want any excuses. I want Anthony Davis to be healthy and out there, and considering the Warriors are kind of eating him alive in a pick and roll right now, I'm not saying that him being out there is a benefit to the Warriors, but they have figured out how to get around him. Keep that pick and roll going. And Steve Kerr, keep talking about flopping. I endorse it. I think he totally nailed it. I do want the NBA's competition committee to put in the FIBA rule that he was talking about, where if you get called for flopping, you're shooting free throws on the other end. It is punitive in the moment. This whole flopping thing that Dennis Schroeder of all Lakers takes way too far. I mean, if you dare brush against him, he will throw himself into the scorer's table. I hate players like that. There's a sport for you. It's called soccer. Go pretend that you got knocked down and got hurt over there. I don't want to hear shit from you soccer fans. Your entire sports strategy is pretending to be hurt at sometimes, and you know it, so shut up. Again, there's a difference between skullduggery and straight up flopping. The Lakers are flopping to get through a 7-game series. Got to shout out Jalen Brunson. There was another NBA game last night. The Knicks were on their home court trying to stave off elimination. They did it. They did it because of Jalen Brunson, who had 38 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, but that's not even his most impressive statistic. Jalen Brunson last night played 48 minutes for the New York Knicks. He played the entire game, every single minute. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, the Warriors would rather forfeit a game than ask anybody they have to play 48 minutes. Sometimes the player needs to play. And sometimes worrying about tomorrow is the wrong way to go about managing a game. The Knicks, to have a tomorrow to worry about, needed that win, and they weren't doing shit without Jalen Brunson, so he stayed in the entire game. I tip my cap, and I am wearing a hat today. So, again, it was a busy morning, went to the doctor, haven't even hopped in the shower yet, so I thought I'd hit you with a couple of iconic Bay Area entities. You got Metallica, and then you got your Guardsman Tree Lot hat from, I believe, 2018. This is from 2018. Is that the 2018 hat? I think it is. One of the great years in Guards Mania. So, look, last night, very, very interesting game. You had very little defense being thrown out on the court by either team. You had outrageous shooting percentages deep into the game. At one point, we got buckets everywhere. The Warriors were shooting 55%. The Lakers are shooting 62%, but the Warriors were still on top. They led 70-59 at the half, and then all of a sudden, the Warriors come on out and really start gaining control of the game. They got a Curry bucket, a Peyton free throw. You got Clay dropping an early shot there. He didn't drop many, but he had a big bucket early in the third quarter. The Warriors get a big putback dunk from Wiggins, a 9-2 run to open the third quarter, and a 25-7 run going back into the first half. And the Warriors just continue to pile it on. Just hit shots. Again, when they're hitting shots and the Lakers aren't getting all these free trips to the free throw line, it's amazing how good they look. Warriors, they exploded in that third quarter. And then, even though the Lakers really didn't threaten the Warriors, just the gravity of the game kept the anxiety in the building. There was anxiety in that building early. There was anxiety in that building late. You've never seen, Warriors by 9 with 5:30 to play look more scary than it kind of did last night. Curry hits a corner three, the first three the Warriors hit in the second half. That put the Warriors up 14 with 4:27 to play. You get that big Wiggins and one bucket, and that was basically it. And then the human victory cigars that are Anthony Lamb and Jonathan Kuminga checked into the game. And, the Warriors put it in the books. They needed to. We went through this game like with a fine-tooth comb last night. No reason to do it again because I know an awful lot of you were tuned in last night, and I certainly do appreciate that. Before we get into your comments and everything that's going on Club Pluce, we need to tell you about what is going on tonight. As you know, Warriors Game 6 is Friday, 7 o'clock tip time on Friday night. Game's going to be on ESPN, who's got a doubleheader tonight. Celtics at the Sixers. Sixers can send Boston home for the year. Nuggets are at the Suns, and the Nuggets, they can send Kevin Durant and company home for the year. So 2 elimination games tonight. Really doesn't get much better than that in the NBA. So a little something for you to watch this Thursday night. You got some baseball this Thursday night. The Giants are at the Diamondbacks. They got 4 in the desert before they come home for a 6-game homestand. And I think I got this right, but the Texas Rangers are in town taking on the A's tonight, which means that Bruce Bochy is managing a baseball game in the Bay Area for the first time since 2019, right? Since the last game he managed with the San Francisco Giants. Bruce Bochy back in a Bay Area dugout. So welcome back, Bruce. But again, do not go to the game because the only way you can get into the game is by giving John Fisher your money. And as always, what is the mantra? Fuck John Fisher. Correct. That is the mantra. We had Tina Turner in her movie, where Angela Bassett with the guns played Tina Turner, and she's like, yum 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 rankyo. It was her mantra that she kept on chanting, yum 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 rankyo, or whatever it was. When I meditate, I just sit there and I think, fuck John Fisher, fuck John Fisher, fuck John Fisher, fuck John Fisher. And I come at peace. Peace is granted to me. And I grant peace to you. A's fans, what you need is a piece of John Fisher. Well, you need the whole thing out of your life. He should not be allowed to profit another dime on Major League Baseball. He should be forced to sell to 2 different local ownership groups who would do better and already make, Fisher. Look at it this way. Fisher doesn't need any more money. He's going to Vegas because he wants max money. He could still get 80% of the money just by selling to a local group who would keep the team right here. And if he doesn't do that, once again, fuck John Fisher, fuck John Fisher, fuck John Fisher. Niners rookie minicamp. It's underway today, boys and girls. Let's hopefully no one tear an ACL and everything should be fine. Again, that's a lot easier to do than say for the San Francisco 49ers. NFL schedule comes out 5 o'clock Pacific today. I know that if I were still working with Ray Ratto, Ray would hate that. I don't hate it. I like to see what the schedule looks like because how the games come at a team in a season affects how a season's going to go. It's not some arbitrary these games as they're lined up don't matter. They do matter. Road trips, back-to-back weeks on the road. Will the 49ers need to stay on the East Coast? I'll tell you this, one thing that we do know about the schedule, since yesterday all the international games came out, the 49ers aren't leaving the country this season, and I can promise you that Kyle Shanahan is very happy about that. We do know that the Eagles are hosting the 49ers in Week 13. I believe that's the first week of December. So that is a 49ers at the Eagles in Week 13. That is leaked. And I have heard, although I haven't seen it completely confirmed, I wasn't looking that hard for it. Again, we'll know this tonight. Like, I can wait a few more hours. I'm not that, I got to have it all right now. I got to get it before the NFL embargo puts it out in public. I heard that the 49ers might have a Thanksgiving night game up in Seattle. So no turkey on the 50 at Levi's, but a Niners Thanksgiving game up in Seattle. I guess that means we're going to serve Thanksgiving dinner a little earlier this year because that's going to be an in front of the TV situation for the Bay Area and the greater Seattle area, if indeed that is true. So we will find out later tonight if that indeed is true. What we do know is the schedule starts leaking out. The first game of the upcoming season is Lions at the Chiefs. That is going to be on September 7th. That is a Thursday nighter. That is the biggest marquee game outside of Thanksgiving I think the Lions have had in my life. And let's face it, the Lions playing on Thanksgiving is tradition. It's not a marquee. It just always happens. This is the first time the Lions have been put in a game that matters, that the entire country will be watching in forever, since Barry Sanders was in the backfield. I mean, it's good for the Lions. Good for the Lions. I hope they give the Chiefs everything they can handle. Week 1 will wrap up on September 11th as Aaron Rodgers makes his debut in Jets green. It's going to be Bills at Jets Monday Night Football. So week 1 begins with Patrick Mahomes and ends with Aaron Rodgers and Josh Allen. Whole lot of football will be placed in between those two games, as you all know, but that's some good stuff. That's some good stuff right there. Jets and Dolphins are going to be playing the NFL's first Black Friday game. And, you know, we don't need football, NFL football on a Friday, but the one Friday where everyone's got it off anyways and no one's doing anything except eating leftovers, yeah, sure, go ahead. Give us Jets and Dolphins. I don't know when the Patriots are going to be at home, but it has already been announced by Robert Kraft that they will honor Tom Brady, and Brady will be there in person for the Patriots home opener. And I don't know if they got a home opener in week 1, week 2, week 3. I don't know. I doubt the NFL puts the Patriots on the road for the first 2 weeks of the year. But there you go. Just can't shake those Tom Brady memories. And that is basically all the news that is fit to print for you today. We're not going to waste your time by going over and over everything. If you want to get deep into the nuts and bolts of a full recap between Warriors and Lakers last night, all you got to do is listen to last night's show, not the 11 a.m. show, but late last night did postgame. It was a lot of fun. A lot of people stopped on by. So we don't want to do the same show twice, but if you missed it, you can go back and you can watch it. That is the beauty of YouTube. It's the show you wanted to be used by you whenever you want to use it. I hope you enjoy that. We're going to have a special guest here tomorrow. We're going to be serving some Ike sandwiches here tomorrow. I am going to crack open a bottle of blackened whiskey, I believe, on the air tomorrow to celebrate the fact that we're in the top 10 in podcasts this week, nationwide, Apple, top 10 in the category of sports. That's awesome. That's a whole lot of interest from a whole lot of people in Lakers and Warriors, wherever they can get it, and it's my incredibly loyal Pluce Nation that is assembling to do things like that. Thanks to all of you. Really appreciate your time. We never want to waste it, so I'm just going to tell you right here and now that sports don't build character, they reveal it. And like that, he's gone. Black and yellow whiskey. Welcome to Club Pluce. It is good to see you again. There is no dress code. As a matter of fact, I encourage you to take your pants off and hang out a while. Somebody's on my level here, Stephen A-hole Smith. Look, here's the thing. What bothers me the most about Stephen A. Smith is I remember how good he used to be. And then he just turned into a parody of himself. Kind of like Ted Lasso, right? Like Ted Lasso was super charming in that first season, and by the middle of season 2, every episode is an impression of a Ted Lasso episode. That's where it kind of lost me. That stupid Christmas episode where they're going around and singing to people, that was, in my mind, when that entire show kind of jumped the shark. This is from Drew Down, who's always down with the Pluce. Drew Down, thank you so very much. Wiggins, best game of the playoffs. Yeah, I think so. He was good. Look, how do you like your Wiggins? I like it aggressive. I like him. I like Maple Jordan when he is aggressivo. Look at this. We got some old school sports phone. No sound effect for Dave Feldhouse. Thank you, Skills. We got memories. Memories. Let's see. Wiggins came through with that 25. You're right about that, R.I.P. Cougar Reb. He certainly did. He was good. Very, very good. Oh, here's my guys at Uncle Boys talking about Draymond attacking the cup makes AD less aggressive, especially catches a couple fouls so early. How about the fact that they called LeBron, I think, for a 3 in the key last night? They called AD for an offensive foul. So, again, Steve Kerr working those officials. He needs to. There's more dignity in Steve Kerr working officials than Dennis Schroeder's flopping. That's for sure. Uncle Boys, go ahead and feed the people who lined up today at 11. And we'll be in touch soon, man. You go ahead and shoot me an email, and we'll put something together formally. I'd love to. Otis Bird III, our fearless chat room leader. Yeah, the fans who are talking about Kevon Looney like that, they make me sick too. Absolutely make me sick. What do we got here? Howard, Damon is a tool. Biggest tool in your tool belt, baby. Suck on it. No wonder this channel can't grow. You must be new here, Howard. We're literally kicking dicks in every day. Thank you so much. Again, what I love is the guy who hates it, but he's in here just swinging from D's nuts. Gotcha. So we keep on going. What are we looking? Let's see. Oh, you're talking about Damon's casual racism. Hey, Howard, Stephen A. Smith is a parody of himself. He is up there doing the dance. If you can't handle it, you can't handle the truth, you're going to have to get the fuck off my channel. This is not for the lighthearted. Not at all for the lighthearted. And thank you, Stephen A. Smith. He's turned into clown shoes. He has. The fact that guy is making $10 million, $12 million a year while good, hard-working people behind at ESPN are all getting laid off en masse because they dare make $85,000 a year is disgusting to me. It's disgusting to me. Anyways, oh my God. Howard just swinging from my dick. Thank you, Howard. Thank you so very much. You know what I'm going to do with Howard right here? We're going to go ahead. We're going to block this user on YouTube. Howard, you are gone. You're never going to have to worry about us again. You will never talk to us again. You are a dick. Coming in here trying to take on the Damon Bruce Pluce army. Dude's getting steamrolled. Let's see here. Otis is right. He did look dazed. I mean, that's the thing. You know, just looking like he wasn't even there. Anthony Davis was legitimately hurt last night. Legitimately. You could see it. Daniel saying shots fired at soccer. Always. Look, I like a World Cup. It's a fun sporting event. But that's it. Once every 4 years. It's like the Olympics. I'm cool with it once every 4 years. We're talking about Steve Kerr here. 82 Atlantic says NBA should adapt an NCAA rule where there's an automatic one-shot technical foul. The FIBA rule is what he was talking about. I don't know if that's an NCAA rule. Drew Down says, Jalen Brunson's also 25. Yeah, I know, but when Steph Curry was 25, they wouldn't have let him play 48 minutes. No way. 26. He's 26. Let's see. Drew says, Mav should have kept him. They let him walk and traded their depth for Kyrie. That's a bad front. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, as someone who's a Mark Cuban guy because he went to IU, when it comes to building a team or putting the right stars around his superstar and Luka, he doesn't make the right moves. Not at all. Not at all. Let's see here. Let's see. I'm going to scroll all the way down and work my way back because we're into the F. John Fisher portion of the chat, which is always legit and good and fun, but no, we're not doing that. Rodney, Damon, NASCAR has a promotion dollar sponsorship money for you. It's just waiting for you. Again, then I would have to be like, oh, they took a left, and then they took another left, and they're taking more left turns. And left turns, everyone, and they're going fast and left. To me, it's not. Look, I'm allowed to not like sports that I don't like, and I just don't like auto racing. I can't get into it. I've tried. I've gone. I've been there. It's quite a spectacle to see. It's very loud, very rumbly, lots of colors. I lived in Indiana long enough to where if the auto racing gearhead bug was going to get me, it would have got me. It didn't. It just didn't. Rob C. Look at that. A 20 spot. Heard you on the bone. Will you interview back? So here's the deal. I was on the bone earlier this week. Today, unfortunately, by the time I called in, they were already off the air. I'm going to be doing Lamont and Tonelli tomorrow morning on the bone. We'll be talking. We will be talking to Lamont and Tonelli and Shasta, and here's what you do. See, this is exactly what you do. Skill saying, that Howard guy was just so desperate for attention. Pretty sad. We pretty much ignored him, and he split. That's it. That's the deal. That's what I want you to start doing the first take. Ignore the things that bother you. They can't stand it. These losers are just looking for engagement. Desperately looking for engagement. Don't bother. Don't bother. This is Chris. Chris says, I'm actually glad he's not on the radio any longer. Now he can come alive and tell it how it really fucking is. Straight up born again. Yeah, I mean, look, this is me talking without being worried about who's going to be offended. You know, you say the wrong thing on the radio. Oh, Damon, is that casual racism? Is that? No, it's me criticizing one guy, not a race. Stephen A. Smith. He's a caricature of himself. Straight up caricature of himself. But we're going to have to go ahead and write a letter now to the program director. Go ahead and write a letter to the program director. His name is spelt like this, Damonbruce. And his boss, if you want to go above his head, is Gillianbruce. If you can convince either Jillian or Damon to fire Damon, I'll be really impressed with your letter writing skills. Yeah, this is straight up, do not need to kowtow to anyone. If I say something that offends you, I don't give a shit. You have no right to an unoffended life, and I promise all of you, you hang out here long enough, you're going to hear something you don't like. You speak into a microphone from your heart extemporaneously almost every day for 18 years. You're going to say something someone doesn't like. That's just the way it goes. I don't care. How about that? I do not care. How about this at Uncle Boy's? All day long for the Pluce Army, just come on in and ask for the Pluce hookup, and you're going to get some love at Uncle Boy's at 245 Balboa. I like that an awful lot. Again, you feed my audience. I'm down with what you do. Thank you very much, True Booth Forever. We kick dicks in every day, Damon. That's what we do. That's what we do. We aren't here to placate the suckers. And this is Sporticus saying it much more eloquently than I did, but he is on the money as usual. He's Sporticus. Stephen A. has traded integrity for money. And when you do that, you can never buy it back. Oh, I'm sure he looks in the mirror and loves what he sees because he sees the money. He sees his bank account. Me, and this is a problem for people who, want me censored or think that they can control me. Money's never been my Jesus. Like, I could hit the Powerball. I could hit the Powerball tomorrow and be a multi-billionaire. And you know what I would do? I'd be right back here at 11 a.m. the next day. I would have been right on the air the very next day on the radio stations that I would work for. I do this because this is my therapy. I'm really glad that you enjoy the show. It's not for you, it's for me. I do this for me, basically. I'm just glad you all enjoy it. It truly, truly warms my heart that you enjoy this. And it will allow me to pay the bills once again. This is Never Go Full Jeff. You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Yeah, that applies to Stephen A. Smith. One more thing here before we thank everyone for coming into Club Pluce here today. This whole Pat McAfee might leave to go to ESPN. Why? Like, why? I don't get it. Someone's like, Damon, what about Formula One? I heard that Drive to Survive Netflix series is really good, but again, I haven't watched it, and it's more than just left turns. I'll give them that much. But I'm just not an auto racing guy. I'm sorry. It doesn't work for me. I'm glad it works for you. I heard pickleball's all the outrage. No, not into that. Not getting into pickleball. Anyways, what I wanted to say about Pat McAfee. So you literally, I'm going to put the blackened sign down, but make sure you go ahead and you pick this up because you're either going to need some celebratory whiskey on Friday night if you're a Warriors fan, or you're going to need to drown your sorrows. Get yourself a bottle of blackened. And I want to wrap up with this on Pat McAfee because, look, the guy has everything a broadcaster could ever want. He's got hundreds of millions of dollars being fed to him by what DraftKings sponsors his show. He's got all that money, right? And he's got independence. The minute he goes to ESPN, he's going to have 12 producers running up his back, telling him what he can and can't say. And I've always thought, and this is what people tell me, like, YouTube Damon is the best Damon. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Layer 2 chains. One of the reasons why I think you like this so much is because I can just shoot from the hip and not care and not edit myself, and I can swear and I can talk however I damn well please. That's power in broadcasting, being able to say whatever you want with no editor or any editing leaning over you. That's a real broadcaster power. That's real power. And why would McAfee give that up? I'm going to tell you, Indianapolis is where he broadcasts from, and Indianapolis is not some, just party on metropolis, but Indianapolis may as well be Las Vegas compared to Bristol. You telling me he's going to move to Bristol to work at ESPN? Why? Like, dude, you already got your toe in the water at ESPN. Aren't you on College Game Day? Don't they call you to do, like, goofy shit? Like, just do that on ESPN and continue to have your unquestionable level of financial success and independence. Might I go back to radio one day? If KNBR decided, hey, the guy who killed this station could be the one guy who could bring it back to life, there's enough amount of money that I need every year to where they put it on the table, I'd have to take it. And you say, well, Damon, you're selling out. No, it wouldn't be selling out because I'm not stopping this. I'm not stopping this for anyone or anything. But I also need to go ahead and get some money coming in. So what I would do would take the deal. I would do that, but I'm not giving up independence. And the minute, I'm talking about the very minute, we are making enough money here, terrestrial radio will never see me again. They might never see me again right now. Especially with Postman dropping a diller on me. That's financial independence right there. Thank you so much, Postman. What I love about Postman is he is dropping dillers at Ike's, getting sandwiches, and he's picking up bottles of blackened whiskey. He's making cocktails. I love it. I love it. JJ Rader. Sounds like Damon's going to have a hard time getting a promotion if his boss is Damon. Yeah, that's actually, you know what? That'll be up to Jillian. We'll see if she wants to sign off on that. Again, I'm just the pretty girl sitting on the car with the big boobs. Jillian built the car. My kind of guy right here, Rich, says, I don't think I've ever been offended by Bruce. I've strongly disagreed with what he said, but I know he's usually fair, and that's why I come back. See, that is what I'm talking about, Rich. I know for a fact that your parents raised an adult. They raised an adult. The things that offend people are the least interesting things in the world to me. If you don't like something, if you disagree with something, that's fine. But the fact that you were offended by something, and I'm not talking about you, Rich, because you don't get offended. That's why I love you. But the fact that you were offended by something doesn't mean your position on that something is right. It doesn't. Never has, never will. Now, sometimes a level of offense and the correct position all line up perfectly. And we know when that is. Like if you're offended by the fact Donald Trump was allowed to spew his bullshit on CNN and that lady just let him basically verbally rape her on the stage, you should be offended by that. And you know what you should do? You should stop watching bullshit manufactured news stories. That's how you get your revenge. By the way, I told you that guy was a dick. He's proven that he was a dick so many times in a row, there's really nothing to even talk about, to the point where, look, Damon, I don't want you to get political. Fuck off. I don't care. If you have any admiration for Donald Trump, there's only one thing I know about you, and I know this conclusively. If you have any admiration for Donald Trump, I bet your father was a piece of shit. Because anyone who had a good father teaches their sons to spot monorail salesmen and assholes early on in life. And if you can't spot that monorail salesman as the asshole that he is, again, your dad was a piece of shit and raised you horrifically. This is what I'm talking about here. Ike, another great one as usual. I hope you're talking about the show. Somebody says, Damon, what about nude pickleball? What would I want to see a whole bunch of dudes pickles on a pickleball court for? No, thank you. No, thank you. This is what I'm talking about, skills. I'm not sure I'm capable of being offended by sports talk. That's right. You shouldn't be. Somebody says here, Rick, Pat created a massive platform and ESPN will just flush all that creativity right down the toilet. Correct. It's going to have, the whole point of McAfee's success is that he's totally unsanitized. He will be sanitized like a bottle of bleach got poured on him. And look, that's just the way broadcasting under an FCC license or it goes. So I don't know why he would do that. I'm going to tell you right now, if DraftKings gives me $125 million, going back to ESPN or anything will never happen. Damon, would you ever do a show with Greg Papa? Well, I like Greg. Greg and I have always gotten along. We've always, I think, had a mutual respect for each other and what we do. So I got no problems with Greg at all. I've done plenty of shows with Greg. They were like draft shows, hang out with him. Well, I wouldn't say plenty of shows. I've done a few shows with Greg, and they've all gone well. I like Greg. But he has a co-host named John, who I also like very much. John Lund is a friend of mine, and I like those guys. I'm not looking to replace anybody. And I'll tell you, one of the reasons why I think you like Damon Bruce on the Pluce more than anywhere else isn't just because I can swear. I've always kind of said whatever I wanted anyways. I just have to curb it a little bit more gently. Again, sanitize it. When you're on the radio, you have to sanitize things. But I I think the reason why you appreciate me here is because I'm solo again. I've always said the most powerful broadcaster is never a broadcasters. The most powerful thing is one man, one mic, one message, and you can either pick it up or put it down. It's so good to be a solo show host again. Now, it's great to have on guests that you really enjoy, which is why Matt Kolsky joined me this week, which is why Joe Fortenbaugh stops on by every now and then, which is why we're going to have a mystery guest for the first time ever in the club, here in Club Pluce tomorrow. How about Mitch? Stay off the radio. Here's a 10 spot. I'll tell you, if that Mitch is all it took to pay my mortgage, I'd never go back. I would never, ever go back. Maybe we go ahead and start a Patreon where people can pay for bonus content. Again, I don't want to put things behind a paywall, but we might start a membership program that's now available to me, which will be a place where maybe some of the pre-recorded stuff that I do, some of the interviews that I do will drop there before they go out to the public or something like that. But I don't want to put anything behind a paywall, but maybe we'll just have a little paywall that will allow you to come on and do shows with me where we just hang out and smoke weed together and drink whiskey together and just kind of kick it. Maybe we'll do it like that. Skills, $12.03. I love the random numbers that you come up with, Skills. Thank you very much. Not just $12, not $10, $12, and not just $12, $12.03. So offended he's giving me money. That's what I am talking about. What do we got here? Young X Fixture says, if Damon Bruce was a cocktail, what would that entail? If Damon Bruce was a cocktail, he'd be a Manhattan. He'd be a blackened whiskey Manhattan. We would use the Ride the Lightning because I like a rye Manhattan. That's me. I am Johnny Brown liquor. I don't like tequila very much. I'll drink a margarita, a little tequila every now and then, but it's never been my friend. I don't like vodka. To me, vodka is just pointless. I do like gin. I like martinis made out of gin. I like a good gin and tonic. But I'm mostly a brown liquor guy. Mostly a brown liquor guy. Somebody says here, all politicians are pieces of shit. No, Damien, no, they aren't. Now, all of them take the deal. All of them play the game, but not all of them are pieces of shit. Like Joe Biden might not do everything perfectly, but he's not a piece of shit. I mean, that's the equivalent of Colin Kaepernick saying a vote for Donald Trump and a vote for Hillary is the same thing. No, Colin, it fucking wasn't. What do we got? What do we got? Someone over here. Ernie Chavez. I don't want to see pickles and balls. Look, I mean, here's the thing. If pickles and balls is what you're into, there's plenty of it on the internet. I don't need to mix it into sports. I don't even need to mix it into sports. Pat McAfee's done pretty well for himself for being a punter. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. What he's done, what he's created, what he's kind of forged out of thin air is something else. If I were him, I wouldn't want to put it back in ESPN's box. Fish and Chips is right here. Damon, you're not solo. There's Mrs. Pluce. She is incredible, man. What a wife I got. What a wife I got. But not that much of a, I'm not going to put her through that. We're not doing OnlyFans. We're not that desperate. How about this? Only Pluce. Drew down. Start the Only Pluce. Will you have a podcast like McAfee? CD, let me tell you, my podcast that I have right now is ranked in Apple's sports podcast, one of the 10 most popular sports podcasts in America. You can go ahead and sign up for my podcast right now. It is available on all platforms. Thank you for asking. CD. Again, saying Patreon. Again, that would be another website and another button that I would have to click. I just can't. I just can't. No more websites. No more button clicking. I can't. Damon, I don't smoke weed or drink anymore. Good on you. Maybe we can go out and eat some food. Yeah, sure. We could do that. We could absolutely do that. I'm down with eating food. Some would say even a little bit too much. Let's see. Damon, would you work pre-post-game shows like NBC Sports Bay Area? Again, call my agent. There is a conversation to be had. Nobody gives better pre or post than me. The teams might not like that because, again, we don't do this just to promote anything. We're about the truth of what just happened. So I don't know if they would be totally comfortable with that. But, yeah, I would do it, and I'll tell you, it'd be better than any pre and post that you get on anything going, just straight up. Damon, I think you can have multiple levels of memberships here. No, there's only going to be one level. It's only going to be, you got to come in at 10 grand. The 10 grand level. Thank you, JJ Rader. It'll probably be less than the 10 grand. After all, you're going to have to save your money to get all those delicious Ike sandwiches and all of that delicious blackened whiskey. Thank you so much for coming into Club Pluce today. It was great having you here for the Damon Bruce Show, and I just want to remind you on the way. Ooh, how about I can never say no to this. Send it in, Jerome. I tell you what, we're going to be working soon. We're going to be working soon on improving the camera, and there might be a soundboard involved. There could be a soundboard involved. Could be some bells and whistles coming up soon. Again, but I don't want to give it all away. I don't want to give up. Any hint as to who's going to be coming in tomorrow. But it's going to be a good Donskoy laser show. I like that. Onions. Yeah, I'm number 8 now on Apple. We're falling. I was number 4. I was number 5 yesterday. Now we fall into 8. Again, as soon as the Warriors and Lakers are done and people aren't tuning in the thousands coming to check it out, I'll fall right out of the top 100, I'm sure. It's hard to stay there. In order to stay there, you need to manipulate things. But we haven't, again, run any promotion or marketing for it yet. And when that happens, look the fuck out. I just want to end with this. There's Damien again saying politics are just another form of entertainment for people to get lost in. That's what they're devolving into. That's not what they're supposed to be. Politics is not supposed to be Yankees versus Red Sox. Politics are supposed to be C-SPAN level boring where you're just getting the hard work that helps people done. That's what it's supposed to be. I'd rather pretend sports are real. It's not supposed to be sports. It's not supposed to be red versus blue. It's supposed to be red and blue coming together to work for the purple and everyone in the middle. Now everyone just appeals to the craziest base assholes out there, and it's disgusting what it's become. Just because something is doesn't mean that's the way it has to be or should be. The Donskoy era came and went. Thank you. What is this? Damon, if it's Ray tomorrow, you got to let us know a half an hour before the show. I'll tell you right now, shush, it's not Ray. I will tell you definitively, it's not Ray. If we do anything with Ray, okay? If we do anything with Ray, I can promise you he's probably not going to come over. If he did, though, I'll make him a big salami sandwich. Just salami, 2 slices of bread, mustard. I know what you like, Ray. Luckily, I think I know what all you like, too. That's why you keep on coming back. It was wonderful to have you back here today. Thank you so very much for joining us. And I just want to remind you that you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.